Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? I told everyone I would do a story time today, so here I am. This is a story for the parents out there. Last night, put my son down about 7:30. Everything seems perfectly fine, nothing out of the norm. I give him his bath, I lotion him up. He's smelling great, he's looking good. We fast forward to 9 o'clock, and I hear him waking up. And I'm like, okay, I teach him to go back to sleep on his own. I'll leave him be. That was a mistake in itself. I did check the camera to make sure that everything was okay. He looked normal. But then for a moment, his face, like he made a face. And I was a little worried. I was like, is he gagging on something? I think to myself, well, I don't put anything in his crib. I still put socks or mittens on his hands, but they were still on his hands. So I'm wondering what I'm staring at the camera watching. So then he coughs or something, and I'm like, okay, he's fine. He was just making that face because he's upset, because then he cried a little bit. I said we're trying to sleep train, so I left him be for a moment. I went into the kitchen to make myself a snack because I was going to end up picking him up and feeding him, thinking maybe he didn't get enough to eat. So I get myself set up. He is on and off fussing and crying. And mind you, I've checked the camera multiple times and he looked okay. So I go in there and I get him up and I was shocked. But when I picked him up, he felt cold and icky on his sleeping outfit. So I turn on the light and discover that he is covered in vomit. The camera didn't pick it up, but he threw up all over himself. I could not see it in the camera. Everything looked normal. And we discovered that the camera doesn't pick up all the different colorations on his bed for some reason. And yeah, so I feel absolutely terrible. The poor dude, it was all over him in his hair and on his sleeper, and I'm just like, I felt so guilty. If you know, you know. I felt so bad because I was trying to let him work it out, and it turned out that he was covered in his own vomit. So I get him out of the bed. I call for his dad to come help me. Thank God he was home. His dad changes the sheets in his bed while I get him in a bath and clean him up. And he's obviously upset during the bath because he was nice and warm before he had to get undressed. So we get him situated. I didn't even do outfit on him right away. I cuddled him in the towel against my skin, and he gets sick. And it's less this time, but the poor guy is throwing up, and he threw up all over me. He ended up getting sick a total of 4 times over that hour, and the moment we decided to take him to the ER, he's magically better. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm so happy that he felt better so quickly, but it's like a 25-30 minute drive to the ER. We wait at the ER for 3 hours, and all for them to just tell us that he's fine. And my son was fussy a good portion of the time because he was tired but overstimulated and couldn't fall asleep, and it just was and then it didn't end there. Home, and he fell asleep on the way home, so he took a little nap. We get home, and he wakes up, and he is content, but doesn't want to go to bed. So I nurse him, I get him back to sleep, he falls asleep, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to sleep upstairs in our bedroom or stay on the main floor and sleep on the couch. because if I went upstairs, it would be farther away from him and it would take me longer to get to him if I needed to. So I decided to sleep on the couch, and thank God I did that, because when I tell you this boy woke up 3 times last night. Now, keep in mind, he didn't go back to sleep until after 1 o'clock in the morning. Luckily, when he woke up, it was never to be sick. He just was having a hard time sleeping. He did sleep in until 8, though, so there's that. See, normally he gets up between like 5 and 7. Well, really between 5 and 6:30. So sleeping until 8 was nice. I really needed it. I'm definitely tired today.